Today we're talking Father's Day.
And Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Big Impact Gala. Stay tuned to find out.
Hello and welcome to Couple Chat.
Where we
Parents.
discuss topics for you.
Parents. I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie. Let's chat.
So, last weekend we had a big moment that we get to every June now for the last 3 years, personally and for Hahn Films. We went to the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Coastal and Northern New Jersey's Big Impact Gala. Mm-hmm. I've been working with them now, like I said, for the past 3 years, and I really believe in their cause. I think they're an amazing organization, and this specific area and who I work with is phenomenal. They do such a wonderful job. They have amazing sponsors. This year was so cool. Mm-hmm. I got to interview a wonderful woman named Heather Mead, who was an individual honoree, and she's a corporate person but has her own little sister, and just her story is phenomenal. And it was really great to be able to edit that video, interview her, and just it just feels good. And then just something so epic and cool, we got to interview the Jets.
Jets, Jets.
Which is pretty funny because I'm not at all into sports, especially football. But I obviously know the Jets. Who doesn't? Mm-hmm. But yeah, got to go to the Meadowlands with what?
It's Giant Stadium.
All right. Well, even me as a non-sports fan,
it's technically the Meadowlands, but yeah, especially for them both being called New York teams.
Sure, whatever. Anyway,
they've never been in New York.
Well, we got to go for quite some time. We got to go to East Rutherford. East? North Rutherford?
East.
Yeah, East Rutherford, right? New Jersey, where there are these sports stadiums. And, her cousin, who has been interning with me on and off over the last couple of years when she's not in school and prepping for her future in marketing, which, was inspired by her work with Hahn Films and me, which is crazy. And appreciate her for even saying that to me at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got to go and interview a person within the marketing department at the Jets, and we went out onto the field. It was really something. That was, definitely just a moment in my career as a video producer. Not so much my filmmaking side, but as a video producer and a business owner, just like, wow, this is something. So I really am humbled and thankful that I've been working with Big Brothers, Big Sisters now for 3 years, and we have a really great relationship, and I can't wait to continue working with them in the future. But
and our work doesn't stop there. We do try to support them while we're at the gala by doing the silent auction. You even offered a package for the silent auction to be bid on, and that was really great. Someone did actually, or a few people bid on it, and someone did actually win, so they will be contacting you soon. But also, we, in fact, won our own little piece of the silent auction, which was nice, because last year I had won the 50-50, and this year we had won that, and it was really cool because there's very few kids things at these things, because it's really appealing to the adults who are there. But this was a whole basket of a kids experience where we're going to be able to go to the Crayola experience in Pennsylvania, and that's going to be one of the coolest days of the summer because our kids have never been there. We've never been there. Right. And it's just going to be a really cool day that, courtesy of BBBS and our work with them and our donation to that, it's definitely an exciting time to be a part of the organization. I know that they are trying to get more volunteers to be bigs.
Always.
This year more so than anything, because there is a very long wait list. They're trying to help 1,800 kids, and there's such a wait list that there are not enough bigs for the littles that need. So I really think that if you are interested, it is a lengthy process. We heard a little bit more about it while we were there, but consider it. I mean, if your kids are grown, if your kids are older, if you, are willing to spend an hour every other week of a month with this child in need, it's the stories are so inspiring. The videos you make, I don't see until the gala, and I'm always like incredibly moved. So is the entire room. Everyone is complimenting you, but it's not just your video, it's the story. It's the little, it's the big, it's the honorees. It's the work that they do and the inspirations. And I really wish a lot more people could see these things because it is so moving. But
they released them on their YouTube channel as well.
Right.
It should be up actually.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I just think it needs to be more more broadcasted. Because I had heard about Big Brothers Big Sisters when I was a kid, but it was more so I wasn't in need. Luckily I had, my parents had the means, and we had a village of our own with our family. I have a large aunt and uncle pool to pull from. I had lots of mentors because I danced and performed, and I didn't need that when I was a child, but there are so many on this list who do.
Right.
So I really think that if you're interested, we will definitely link it somewhere in the description. They're just a really amazing organization, and they do so much for these kids. And even the ones who aren't sponsored yet by a big, they are still able to come to the events. Like the Jets, they do a match event they make a match event where they invite the littles who don't have matches yet. Lots of really good things, I think, in this organization. And we talk about it every year, and it's so inspiring. For us personally, this is how we can give back right now.
Yeah.
We have our 2 young children. It's a lot for us right now. So we don't have the means, the time, or what have you, to be volunteers, but we do it in our own certain way of spreading the word, doing what we can. You work with them on your side with Hum Films. And I think that it's definitely an organization that everyone should be familiar with and try and, if you can't volunteer, donate, help, spread the word. Every second counts, every penny counts. They are doing good work.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. Speaking of celebrations and children, you're a dad.
What?
Happy Father's Day.
Uh-oh. Better get out of here. I didn't realize that.
Oh, my. But today, the day we're recording, reason why we look so nice is we went out for Father's Day.
Yeah, we don't ever look this nice.
Nope. Yeah. How was your day, Matt? You want to tell the folks at home and in their cars listening?
I'm the optimist always, but there were some good moments. My shrimp and grits were really great.
They better have been 2 hours later.
No, I mean, listen. Parents listen to this, I would think. Young children have lots of energy, and us 30-somethings and older don't. And it's a roller coaster, but being a father is just something that's like, I don't know. These kids just do and say the darndest things, as people say, right? Mm-hmm. Especially like our daughter right now. Just like every word out of her mouth is hilarity. And there's nothing like that. There's nothing like it. It's something that I will cherish forever, and I will talk about for my life. And even though like it could be hard, I love them. They're awesome. And yeah, there are ups and downs today, and we waited way too long for food and didn't eat until then, which is always a mistake of ours. Mm-hmm. But
they did though.
Well, they had some snacks.
Yeah.
They're still bored out of their mind waiting. And, you know, who isn't? I mean, we are too. We just know how to sit and you know, be patient, but also fume on the inside when you're waiting to sit at a restaurant. But
it gets to the point where, like, okay, you give me a time frame. All right. Once I get past that time frame,
yeah,
and I'm checking my watch over and over and over again.
Back to Mission Impossible. Once the time runs out, that fuse is lit, and it's just like, dun, 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 like, it's getting
like,
shorter and shorter.
And like, how many times did we check where our name was on that list?
I don't know, because I was trying to keep my children busy and walk around like crazy.
And
I walked around the town that we were having brunch in more than I ever have.
Mm-hmm. About 5 or 6 times.
Yeah. But listen, it is what it is. We had brunch. It was delicious. You know, it took a long time to get there, but you live and you learn, and you know, maybe you don't go out on Mother's Day or Father's Day anymore.
We won't remember that next year.
Yeah? Well, no. You know what we'll do? Because we do this all the time, like going to the movies, right, with children. We go, they're older now. This will be easier. And it never is. I don't know when it gets easier. Maybe never. But yeah, so brunch was great though. It was fine. I'm not gonna complain about things. I love my family, and it doesn't matter what ride we go on. Then we got back here. We were gonna go to like a play place, and then they stopped asking about it, and it's just such a gloomy day, and I think we are all just exhausted from like just how long it took to get brunch over with. Yeah. Like they didn't even ask again, which was so weird, right?
Mm-hmm. Usually they're like,
yeah, are we going?
We're going. Our minds are set. We're going. Gosh darn.
Yeah, but ultimately we didn't. We just came back home, and then they were going to go for quiet time or whatever. And I was like, oh, well, you know, what's a good Father's Day movie? And I had joked, I was like, oh, well, Empire Strikes Back, right? Which is obviously my favorite Star Wars movie. And after just the hubbub of like just them going to quiet time, not wanting to go, like sitting there, I was like, you know what?
It's going on.
I'm putting it on. Mm-hmm. Joke over. And I was like, oh, maybe Nate will finally see this and you know, he'll connect with it and understand the twist and blah, blah, blah. Boom! Right over this kid's head.
Well, wait, hold on. You didn't tell the best part.
What was the best part?
You put it on.
Yeah.
And I pulled out our fancy new couch that you bought me for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I laid next to you, and all I hear is...
Yeah. No, it's great.
You literally slept through the first... Like, you slept through Hoth.
I slept through the Battle of Hoth, yeah.
Everything on Hoth. you pretty much slept through.
But I anticipated doing that.
And then...
I was there for Cloud City.
Right. And then it was just like...
Exactly. It was just like that.
And it was just like, you know, the kids come downstairs. Nate, of course. And then he's being annoying. And then the movie's progressing. The movie's still on.
Right.
And it gets to the point where things are happening. And Emma's like, I want a snack. And you go, you made me miss my favorite part. Where Hahns says, I love you. Or where she says, I love you. And he says, I know. And it's like... You're like, I put this dang movie on so I could watch it. And I'm missing all my favorite parts.
Pretty much.
And then literally we get to the end and Nate's like yelling about a snack or something. And you pause it and you rewind it. Because you're like, let's see if he's going to get it. And he keeps interrupting it. Let's see. Nate's literally staring at the TV on the other couch with a snack. Like flat face, you know, eyes wide open. And you whisper to me, Jackie, do you think he got it? And I'm like, I doubt it. he kind of No, not really.
No, he didn't. It is what it is. I don't even know why he keeps trying with Star Wars at this point.
But they did say watch the last 10 minutes.
I mean, he was in and out. He watched a few parts of it. He understood the dream sequence more than he understood anything else.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, his head is off."
Oh my God. And I have that head on my desk at work. Like I have the Darth Vader head.
That's funny.
And the half of Darth Maul, like chilling up on my little tchotchke shelf with all my stuff at work.
Very nice.
And people look at it and they're like, it's like
Star Wars,
Star Wars, man. Like,
I was Darth Maul for Halloween when I was 9.
come on. No. I was 11. Kelsey was 9. She was Amidala.
The movie came out in 1999 in May. So you could have been 10, but you were definitely not 11.
Maybe I was 10.
Yeah.
I don't remember being 1 digit. I remember being 2.
Then you were 10.
I guess so.
I know so.
I
Anyway.
have to find that picture.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you know. Just felt like another day with my children.
Mm-hmm.
Like with a little more expense because we went out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, you know, one of the coolest things that just came up randomly was Nate was like, "I'm gonna put on a show," and he took out his guitar and he's like playing it, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me put on some music for you to play to." And I was like, "Oh, I'm going for it. I'm going for this." He's got a guitar. He's got this "My Dad Rocks" shirt on that my mom got him. I was like, "I'm doing it." Put on some Iron Maiden. This kid loved it.
He loved it.
Yeah.
He is. You are.
Yeah. Star Wars, you can hold off. If he's gonna listen to Iron Maiden, I'm down. I'm down.
Well, the funny thing was, you looked at me and go, "I was between this or The Offspring."
Yeah,
and like that is totally different worlds.
I mean, sure, it's punk or
punk
metal.
or heavy metal.
Yeah, we'll get to Offspring.
Yeah. I feel
really
like
funny. Offspring is more of something that, like Iron Maiden, you could listen to Iron Maiden whenever. He's not going to understand the lyrics right now. But Offspring, I feel like, is something you introduce as a preteen. Because that's when, like, if you start to understand lyrics to songs, and then the lyrics in Offspring really hit teenagers more than they hit anyone else. So, for us to listen to it now, it's nostalgic to us being teenagers for more reasons than just the music was our 90s music. It's because they were talking about their teenage years. So I think that's more of a time to introduce Offspring to him. But Iron Maiden, I mean, talking about things that happened centuries ago.
Well, it happened in utero too, because that was our first concert with him.
You said in utero, and all that made me think of was Nirvana, but all right.
No, I was like 7 or 8 months pregnant with him when we went to see it. And I remember being like, "Listen, baby, this is Daddy's favorite music." And here we are.
Yeah.
Almost 6 years later.
Anyway, yeah, so Father's Day is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have more to talk about. Tomorrow is Nate's pre-K graduation, so probably get to that.
And then Wednesday is my cousin's graduation.
Yes.
High school.
Yep. Yeah, she already graduated college, so
yep.
Now is her high school graduation.
Yep.
Inside joke for those of you who don't know, you go to some of these like vocational like arts high schools and things. They're like graduating with a degree already.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so we got a lot going on, and then, I mean, we got some other movie stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Generation Hack was accepted into another festival. So,
woohoo!
Yeah, Han Films is doing some things. We'll get to those in the next episode, maybe.
Oh, you forgot to mention the movies.
De movies. Yeah, Nate and I, pre-Father's Day yesterday, we went to see How to Train Your Dragon, which I didn't really care to see because her and I are huge fans of the animated trilogy. Mm-hmm. Really beautifully made films, don't need to be remade, don't need to have any more sequels. It's just such a well-rounded, perfect story if you've ever seen them. And if you haven't, you should, and you should show your children. So I don't know. I probably mentioned it before, but you know, I just don't care for live action remakes of anything. I think that it's a bad idea and more so just a marketing ploy that gets people back into theaters for nostalgia purposes. And that's pretty much what this was.
Yeah.
It was a 1-to-1 remake of the animated film, like even more closely than Lilo and Stitch was.
Wow.
The acting was on par though. Like that's the one thing I could say. Like I kind of went to see it because I really like Nick Frost. And I wanted to see him as Glauber. I want to say is the name of the character. And Craig Ferguson plays him in the original films. And he's hilarious in that role. And he does such a great job. And you know what's very interesting is they kind of grounded him a little more in this remake. So I didn't laugh as much as I thought I would. Yeah. A lot of the movie was more like solemn and felt sad and like, I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe that's why Nate wasn't really interested.
Also, and this is a hard thing with a movie like this that just relies so heavily on animation. The dragons just look silly. They look silly because it's CG. And like, how can you make anything like that look real? Like they're silly looking, goofy types of dragons, you know, they're not supposed to be live action.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know. After a while, like the first chunk of the movie where it's mostly human interaction and like they're introducing Burke and, you know, like you don't even really see Toothless until like the first like 20 so minutes in because, you know, he gets hurt and he's like in the woods and they introduce Burke for a good amount of time before he goes to see him. Right. So there's a lot of human interaction in the beginning. And then once they started really introducing the dragons, it was fine for a while. And then, you know, I mean, there's a big battle at the end and they all ride dragons and then it started to get silly, which is fun. Again, animated. You don't have to worry about that.
It's great.
It's animated. Yeah. But the cast was fine. Everybody did a great job and they all played their role well. Actually, you know who was pretty funny, actually funnier than Nick Frost was the kid who plays Snotlout. He's the like short, like brawly kid.
He's the one that knows all the things.
Nope.
He has the cards, or he's the one with like the brown hair.
Yeah, he's the one with
and
the brown
patch.
hair. That patch?
Doesn't he lose an eye?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe in a sequel. I don't remember. No. What's that kid's
He's
name?
the one with the twin that's like falling in love for.
No. There are the twins, and then there's this kid. He's just, like you said, stocky, brown hair.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He's funny?
Yeah, I mean, he was the funniest part of the movie, I thought, actually. And like they like build up this relationship with his dad that his dad just doesn't give a crap that he exists.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean it's Vikings, so like, you know, whatever. But like he's like, yeah, my dad's, you know, he's really proud of me, you know, I'm great, unlike you, Hiccup. And then like his dad walks by and he's like, hey dad, how's it going? Don't talk to me in public. As his dad keeps walking. Like it's
That's messed up.
Yeah. But
funny.
But it is right. It's pretty funny.
Good timing on Father's Day. Don't talk to me.
I didn't think about it like that. Yeah. But and Gerard Butler was great.
Yeah.
Because he was just reprising his role. You know, he just played the same thing again, but now live action. And you could tell he had a good time doing it. Like he was, you know, he was great. But yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. Like after watching it, I'm like, just kind of want to go home and watch these movies now. Like I don't want them to do the next movie. I really don't want them to do the next movie because that is the best one. The second one is just so good. It's very emotional. And
I don't think they'll do it right.
they might, because if they're going to if DreamWorks is like set on doing a 1-to-1 remake where they're not changing a gosh darn thing, then it's fine, I guess. Like, they didn't change anything.
Well,
I'm serious. Like maybe a couple of lines of dialogue here and there slightly, but like mostly every single thing was the same. And but that leads me to, then what's the point of even doing this at all?
Yeah.
It's the same exact movie, and the animated movie's so good and still so relevant. You know, like, are you really hitting a larger audience because it's live action? Like, it's for children anyway. Like, this isn't a movie adults are going to watch by themselves.
Right.
I mean, even though we were adults watching it by ourselves before we had children. So
All three
maybe
of them.
not true. Maybe not true. Well, yeah. And we cried like babies through every single one of them, probably.
Still do.
Yeah. They're very emotional movies. That's why they're so good. And why I don't want them to ruin it.
Well, I feel like, though, from like an actor standpoint, I feel like, though, that's kind of like why theater works so well, because like there's the original cast,
Yeah.
and then there's the revival cast, and then there's the national tour cast, and then like
With
you're giving these
theater,
people the ability to play these roles again or a different way.
You can say that, fine, but the difference between theater and film is film lives on forever the way it is.
Yeah.
And you can rewatch that film over and 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 over again if you want to.
Right.
With theater, it's done when it's done.
Yeah.
Yes, they can do a recording of it, and you can buy that recording sometimes, because it doesn't happen that often. And you can buy that recording and you can have it. Like, still to this day, was there a recording of, Wicked? Was, like,
Yeah.
is there a full recording of Kristen Chenoweth and
Adele
Dazeem?
That was awesome. You were searching for it, and I knew what it was.
I was, because I'm sorry. I'm sorry, all you lovers of Idina Menzel. I can't stand her. But anyway.
No, there is. They have like Broadway archive. So
Oh, yeah?
It used to be back in the day where there was just a camera in the back, like all the way up in the light booth. It was terrible quality. It's so far away you couldn't see anything. And then as time went on, they would have like cameras.
Full on productions.
But they were archives. Like they weren't meant for. And then when Broadway On Demand came around, where you could actually like pay for streaming, they started like honing them and making them nice. Like that's why SpongeBob is so good, because that's
I don't think so.
actual
I think that
show.
was Nickelodeon going, we want to make money after this.
No, I know that, but that's what I'm saying. Like that was an actual performance that they recorded,
I know.
and they used in, mass producing it.
Sure. Yeah.
Shrek 2.
Shrek 2?
Shrek
Is
also. Shrek the musical also did that.
Yeah. There's a toss in that too.
Toss.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, either way, musicals, you only have that chance to see it, and even if you do watch a recording, it's not the same experience.
Right.
Which again, movies are not the same experience when you don't see them in the theater after it's out of theaters. So what I will say is, unlike theater, you can re-release the same exact movie the way it was back in theaters. Revenge of the Sith is a perfect example that we just went to see again, and we had a terrible audience. But we've went to many re-releases of films and gotten to see, it with great audiences. So movies are just different. You can do that. Theater, you can't. You have to do a revival. You have to continue it with a new cast. You have to tour it around the country for people to see, because they're not putting it in. That's essentially touring it around the country or the world is like putting a movie into multiple theaters. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's essentially the same thing. This is the only way for everybody to see it the way that it's supposed to be seen. Right. Yeah. So theater, I give a lot of leeway because, I mean, you have to. Yeah. You're supposed to experience it sitting in that place, breathing in the same air as those actors. Like that's such an interesting thing that you don't really think about. Like, you're all in there, in that space.
Yeah.
Like, you ever, so this is how I'm going to end this. Okay. You ever just think you're sitting in a theater or a show or something? It doesn't work in like, music events, but you ever just sit there and go, I could just yell something crazy right now. Like the like lowest moment of a theater performance. Just yell something insane. And like that's like you're going to screw up that whole moment, that whole theater performance. Like anybody could just do that. That's like this weird unwritten respect that the audience has with those actors on the stage. Like, and of course, I'm sure things like this have happened.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, there's a barrier there, even though there's not.
It's an unspoken rule.
Yeah, it's just it's so interesting, and I think about that every once in a while. Just being a filmmaker and an audience member, I'm just like, man, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy if like or just to be able to do that. It makes me actually, and I'll, I'm going to put this in the universe and somebody's going to steal my idea, but it makes me want that to happen, but it's like part of the show. You know what I mean? Like, that show that's been on for a while, the play where everything goes wrong, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I feel like it would work in something like that, but people would expect it in a show like that. I want it to be in a show where it's not expected. But it would have to be like a different seat
in every show. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if someone's seen it like 7 times, they expect, oh, this is the seat. No.
Oh, right.
It's going to be in the mezzanine. It's going to be in the loge. It's going to be in orchestra, right?
That would be so funny.
Like that would be the only way it would actually like seem natural.
Right.
But yes, there are shows like that. Like Avenue Q, for example. That show is very audience interactive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they come out during one of the songs and they collect stuff from the people in the audience, and you could put whatever you want in the collection
bin.
It's like a collection hat or a collection bowl or whatever. They bring it up on the stage and they start picking through it, and they'll look at it and be like, who did this? Who put this in here? And it's like the craziest things that I've ever seen.
Condoms and things.
Condoms, bras, underwear. I mean, lots of different things.
Nice.
Yes. But that's the whole point of that part of the show. It's like, hey, give me your money. And like they're going around trying to get donations. And when in fact it's people are just throwing random, basically trash into the bins. So that's like the whole joke. But I love shows like that. Rocky Horror. That's the whole interactive of Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror is different because that's a bridge between film and theater.
No. But even when they do the theater version, they do that.
Oh, there's a theater performance?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Silly.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's all a different, it's all bridging that gap, like you said. But yeah, it really all depends on what medium you're there for.
Yeah, but I don't know how we segue into this after How to Train Your Dragon. But yeah, we saw it. It was in existence. It's a movie that's out there. Will I ever watch it again? I mean, if Nate forces me to. But I'm going to go right back to the animated one.
Yeah.
I would love to watch all 3 of those again. We tried to get them to watch them. And I don't know. Again, just... I don't know. It's really hard. It's funny. Like, people are always like, oh, don't force your kids to do the things you do or like the things you like. Dude, I don't know if it's just our children, but they don't want to do or watch the things we want to watch. Like, we try so hard and they're like, nah, I'm good. Put on PJ Maskuses.
Yeah, I want to watch PJ Maskuses. Oh my gosh, we've watched like 20 hours of PJ Maskuses in the last week.
And I still don't have a rhyme.
Yeah, they're obsessed. They wake up. I want to watch PJ Masks. Okay, we're not watching PJ Masks. We have to get ready for school.
Yeah.
We have to go to bed. We have to eat dinner. We have to do anything and everything but watch PJ Masks.
Yeah.
But
at least we're not watching Cocomelon. Right, Ryan George?
Oh, man. If you
Anymore.
ever have time to watch that video, that's a real slap in the face.
Disturbing stuff. Anyway, we are like random, just blabbing now.
Sorry, not sorry.
So it's Father's Day. We're tired. We have no idea what we're saying anymore. And on that note, I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie.
Here are the Hahns signing out.
Thank you so much for listening to Couple Chat. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify or YouTube Music. You could even subscribe to our YouTube channel where you could see this episode in video. Thank you to Hahn Films for editing and producing this episode. Let's chat soon.